Hey, you guys, so I'm back again with another message from the Lord. And I was in prayer. I was in prayer. Um, I was driving and I went into prayer. And clearly, when I prayed, it dropped in my spirit. What you thought was dead has risen. Y'all, and when that dropped in my spirit, my spirit just went into worship mode. But God is saying, what you thought was dead has risen. And God began to take me through the Bible, the different stories in the Bible where people were dead and people thought that they were dead and people didn't believe that they could be risen, like Lazarus and like the little girl that were dead. And Jesus rose them from the dead. What we thought was dead has risen. So, y'all, don't be surprised, like I said, the things that you thought were dead, the things that you thought weren't going to go to pass, just comes to life. A lot of people thought Jesus wasn't going to rise again on the third day, and he got up and he did, and he got up with all power, right? So what you thought was dead has finally risen. That dream, that vision that you thought was dead has finally risen. It was just placed, it was just set to a time, it was just set aside for a place and for a time such as this. I understand we can get discouraged during the wait process, during the waiting season. But what we thought was dead has finally risen. And it can be hard waiting for something to come to life, especially things that we have been waiting on for years. But just think about the woman that sent for Jesus to come and heal her daughter, bring her daughter back to life. She still had patience. She still waited. She still believed, even when the situation looked dead. Even when the world might tell us that this thing is impossible. Even when other people that are around us that discourage us and try to tell us we crazy. That ain't gonna happen. That's impossible. For that, for us to have that type of faith to still believe that God can raise the dead, even when the dead can have been dead for a few days. Because with Lazarus, he was dead for a few days. It was like, God, they was like, Jesus, are you sure? Because surely his body it's surely start to be stinking by now. Because he was dead for a few days. And Jesus said, Lazarus, come here. Basically called Lazarus and told him to get up. Y'all, what we thought was dead has finally risen. God has called that thing back to life. All right? Don't be discouraged. Don't give up. What you thought was dead has finally risen. It was just sitting and waiting for a time such as this. It's going to be used as a testimony for someone else to make them into a believer. We just going to have crazy, unbelievable faith. But God is saying what we thought was dead has finally risen. All right? So that vision that you thought was dead, that marriage that you thought would never come to pass, your family that you might thought would never come to pass, your business that you might have thought would never come to pass, your education that you thought, your certifications that you thought might not never have come to pass, you being able to get delivered from strongholds, delivered from people you thought that would never pass. God said what you thought was dead. What you thought was dead has risen. What you thought was dead has risen. Y'all, get into the season and into the place of expectancy. Y'all, that's why we have to really truly be obedient. Because God will bring something that was dead back to life and blow your mind. You just got to remain faithful. You just got to be obedient. And you got to have some crazy, unbelievable faith. All right? So what you thought was dead has finally risen. All right, you guys, I love you all. I pray that you guys have an amazing day, and I will chat with you all later.